evening, once again, Saturday evening, SLR Tier 1, Season 4, and we're, I think, at round 14. Last time out we had a blistering race at Italy, and this time it's quite a different track actually. It is Singapore instead of the long straights. We've got a very narrow street track, and well, the track has changed a lot. The commentary duo English has not, because I am again partnered by Joel, who collected twice the amount of my points in Singapore. How does it feel being a point scorer?
It's well, I mean, it was 2 points.
Well,
You
yeah,
say
that
half
makes
the
you-
amount
that
of
makes
double the
you-
points.
Yeah, you have double the amount of
Yeah,
points.
yeah, I just realised.
Yeah. I mean, you're a points scorer. I'm only a point scorer at Singapore, so.
Yes, but
You've got
you've
the
scored
extra.
many points.
But not in this race. Anyway, so we're at Singapore, and it's normally quite a spectacular track. If I recall correctly, last season was a complete mess. I think we had 10 finishers, and they were all separated by 10 seconds between it, like in each gap. And Light Cruiser won it. And strategy, I think, from Jensen. So
Are we going to finish the race within... I mean, I want to go to bed tonight. I mean...
yeah, please give us rain and 5 safety cars. Well, rain...
So speaking of rain,
yeah, exactly.
there is
Nice
rain.
transition.
It's horrifying. Ocean said that it was going to be rain towards the end of the session, but it looks like it's come early. You can see the raindrops on the halo. So those who went out on the mediums.
That's a beautiful camera angle. I just need to point that out. That is the most ugly thing I've ever seen.
Oh, I just seen it.
I'm a rear wing, Joel. I'm a rear wing.
So those who went out on the mediums and not the hards at the beginning have an advantage because they're going to set their lap times in the dry.
Yeah, and that it has been Yugos, who's retired, Bryce Evolution, who's in the pits, and Julian, who has retired. Yugos put in a very good lap, and he's... Oh yeah, and let's look at his Steam profile, because that's what I want to see, honestly. Yeah, he's on provisional pole, Bryce Evolution. A little bit of a difficult one last time out, and today he looks like he can be on the front row, because we're gonna go on board with let's say Astro, and check how the circumstances are. I imagine improving now will be difficult. You might still improve over your hards time, but I'm sure you won't improve over the times or past the times all the ones with the mediums, like Julian, Bryce, and Yugos have set already. And that's of course terrible for Copy, for example, because this championship rival, Julian, is in the top 3. He has gone for the mediums early, and he himself, Copy, has not done that. Has been also locked out of the top spots, and Astro's the quickest hardsman.
Yeah, so Jensen saying in chat that the track won't, well, it's going to obviously become slower, the track, with this rain, so it can't improve. So those on the hards did miss out. Maybe they didn't check the weather, I don't know, or they thought it would come later.
Yeah, as Ocean indicated, rain was expected later than it comes. And I mean, the DRS is still enabled, so this is probably not what the weather radar or the weather forecast considers rain, but it has an effect on the handling of the cars that you can feel. And actually, softer tires help you so much on this track, by like 1.2 seconds between mediums and hards, that I imagine you can still improve from the hards here. But it's just not going to be enough. Proof of that is Danny, because he is just behind Julian, but to be fair, Julian has probably bottled his lap a little bit for his, or for a driver of his caliber.
So Wow's up
is not
by
that great.
1 second.
Oh, that's
On the
actually
medium.
a lot. Yeah, he's in the last sector now.
Compared to the hard.
And it's just going to be a little bit of chicanes. Car still looks like it's going to grip a little. Can he knock Danny and Julian down? Maybe, and that looked like an invalidation, but it's not. It's not. It's P3 for Wow.
So despite the conditions, that's quite a fast lap. It looks like Bryce is actually going to start P2 then, if it stays this way, and Hugo's P1. So
yeah,
those who went out on the mediums really did have an advantage.
yeah, Gary. What is it? What's the deal with this camera angle? I haven't changed anything with my settings, and it's the second time I'm getting it. So Yeah, Gary's in P5, so he's actually managed to beat Danny, something not a lot of people would expect coming into the weekend, that Gary would have qualified Danico, after Danico has taken 2 consecutive pole positions that both were obviously ruined by the Ferrari strategy department.
Astro coming across the line to set his first medium lap.
And he started it now, actually, so
Yeah.
we are gonna ride on board here for a lap of Singapore. And
You want to? You go.
no, it's fine. He just clearly didn't have that much grip there. He tried to stick to the inside, but couldn't run the car flat out there.
Doesn't take much curb there.
Yeah, taking curbs in the wet is always dangerous, and yeah,
he goes a bit wide.
He can't use his normal braking points, and that's very inconvenient. You have to think in a very different way when driving in these kind of conditions, and it might be too late for him.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we see going under the Anderson Bridge, coming towards the hairpin in first gear, short shifting to third, even fourth on the exit. As who was that who improved? I think it was Pretorius who went up into P7, ahead of his teammate. So keeping it in the track limits here, coming through to the tricky and technical final sector. Wanted to take lots of curb here, keep it tight to the wall. Down into third, maybe second if you need that extra rotation, especially in the wet. Coming through to the final chicane. Yeah, there might be a bit of wing damage there, but he's going to finish the lap as close to the wall as you dare. Full commitment through the final corner. I think that was an invalidation, yeah. Yeah, improved by 2/10, but he didn't bank for that.
How's that not an invalidation when mine was yesterday anyway? Do you reckon that like the natural oversteer of rain makes Astro Boy's 111 understeer setups drive like a normal car? What do you reckon?
I doubt it.
That's tragic. So no OP setup for Astro in Singapore.
Bants on lap as well. Let's just keep an eye.
It's just going to be difficult to improve from here on, because NJJ...
Oh, and Light Cruiser coming to finish his lap, got really close to the wall, nearly slid into it. What's he going to do? He's going to go up to P12. So the track is definitely getting slower.
Yeah, it is. It's not even enough to get ahead of Bants. And the question, I mean, Bants is just barely up on his time. Maybe he can knock Jensen out of the top 10. The question is also, do you want to do that? Copy on an outlap, he'll struggle to get into the top 10. It's not the greatest track to start at the back, trust me, I know.
Yeah, it is very hard to overtake here. You've only got the Raffles Boulevard really, which is the back straight with the DRS. That's the only really overtaking spot in the lap. You can, if you get a good run out of the final corner, overtake into turn 1, but that's difficult. And, well, on this back straight where Icewind is coming to the corner after this straight is another overtaking opportunity, but you need to have a really good run out the hairpin.
I agree. Also, yeah, the question is how's that gonna play out. I mean the top 6 are, I think, set in stone. Like there's nothing moving for those.
Yeah.
Oh! Icewind. He has lost it there, and that concludes his qualifying session. I'm sure he'll drive into the pits now.
So, Bants didn't improve.
Yeah.
Maybe invalidated.
Potentially, but maybe it was also just the track conditions. And he is
now... the drivers are still trying to improve. I mean, they're struggling.
He's just down on his time in Sector 1. But I think Sector 1 might be the one around Singapore that is least impacted by rain.
Yeah.
Because it's mostly straight. While all the other sectors are far more technical. So he's going to lose loads of time on the rest of the circuit.
So Icewind retires, he won't be improving on his time. So 1 minute 50 seconds left in the session. I wonder if we're going to see everyone retire or not. I don't think people are going to commit to a final lap because the conditions aren't just aren't good enough to improve.
And you can also see Light Cruiser, Popo, and Tipsy all didn't manage to beat Vance, even though they went on mediums and he was on hards, but he just did his lap on the dry. So that shows you. I mean, I think Popo, I would expect Popo to be closer to the front than Vance, naturally, and he couldn't beat it, so I imagine there won't be anything changing from here on out, and Vance also sees that and drives into the pit lane.
Say, watch Copy on his lap. He's up by only 1/10, so this will put him P14, maybe 13.
It's also only just arriving in Sector 3, point in the lap where I don't expect you to gain much time. Copy known as a very clean driver, and his driving style is very slow, and methodical, and by slow I don't mean that he lacks pace, because he definitely doesn't. So I think he'd get, I mean, he could get something in the rain. The question is, from P16 is it gonna be an improvement?
4/10 down.
Yeah, that Sector 3 just doesn't work. Overspeed is, well, he's gonna get onto the board, but I'm not...
Tipsy's 5/10 down. Popo's 3/10 down. I think this is your grid.
Yeah, I think so as well. They're not gonna improve. Overspeed is gonna put it somewhere, so he's gonna be ahead of Max Peltz, but still probably nowhere. Maybe ahead of Ocean Chief. Well, he's on soft, so it might happen, but he gets it all wrong here in the last section. Lots of chicanes there, and
Yeah, Tipsy in the pits. Popo retires.
oh, Overspeed! And the obvious name puns
Oh, yes.
check out. So it is.
At least he set a lap.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help him because Max wasn't gonna. But yeah, Williams getting a proper laps in for both their drivers.
So Copy's trying to still improve.
Yeah, Torosso is meanwhile sandwiching the field. He's actually up after Sector 2. It must have absolutely been this hard time. If this condition works better for him. We're all I mean, it's all eyes on him, really. As he heads to the second bridge, he has, of course, two. If you cross the river once, you have to get back, so here's the second bridge. Actually, don't know the name, I just know the Anderson Bridge, which is, of course, the first one you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
I actually also think I need to put my mic in a better position.
So I think he will improve here, will he? I didn't see.
I didn't either. I was gone too quickly. 16. That is where he was before, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it hasn't improved. Unlucky, I guess. It was practically a one-shot qualifying, but not everyone was aware of the fact that it was gonna be a one-shot qualifying. So that's why we've got Hugo's and Bryce Evolution on the front row.
I think this is sort of the perfect situation for Hugo's, really. If he can pull away from Bryce, who will stop Wow, Julian, Gary, Danny, Pretorius, Astro Boys, Jensen, Popo, all Copy, all of these drivers who would otherwise be in the top 5 from catching up to Hugo's, essentially. So if he can pull away the first few laps, it's going to be a good race for him.
I enjoy how you just fell victim to the classic SLR trap, where you want to name every driver who has a shot at winning, and then end up counting down half the grid. That's a wonderful thing. I'm doing that every time when I want to talk about favorites for the race. And yeah, so I think it's gonna be a dry one, and I hope so. We had plenty of rain last time in Singapore, and it wasn't too fun. Well, it was funny, but you know, after we lost half the field 5 laps in, it wasn't too enjoyable anymore. So let's hope that doesn't happen today. Tier 2, of course, was far from boring, at least where I was sitting. It was pretty frustrating.
But Jensen's going to be starting P10 on the hards. So if there's a late safety car, I always say this every race. If there's a late safety car, how many times do I say that?
The problem being that if there's going to be an early safety car, then he has a problem as well. So
yes, but it depends how early, because you can, if you pit lap 1 for hards, you're not getting to the end.
True.
Which is what the soft runners experienced in Tier 2 on Thursday.
I had to pit on lap 3 for hards because I had wing damage like a proper good driver. Anyway, so Because I murdered my boy Larson. Anyway, so...
My teammate, thanks.
Yeah. Well, it put me behind, and I ended up behind you. So, there you go. Your teammate did your bidding. Are you happy now?
I am.
That's great. Anyways, the question is, who's gonna be happy after this? Honestly, I mean, this is gonna sound harsher, but just judging from the one race I have seen from him, Price Evolution, I did not really expect him to make a move on Hugo early. I have a feeling that he's going to be a little bit of a roadblock, as you already asserted that WoW and Julian are going to feel a little stuck behind him potentially, and they're gonna be very aggressive to get past him soon. WoW, who crashed out last week, of course, in Ascari, will have to lead the charge there unless Julian overtakes him, and I feel like whoever stays ahead in this fight might have a good shot at winning this. Hugos, of course, does as well, because he's gonna be in the lead, and he does not have a singular car ahead of him. And Pretorius, Astro, Danny are all there, but...
Astro, less than session.
Oh, well, okay.
He's having
let
connection
me
issues,
let me rephrase that. Danny and Pretorius are both there. And let's hope Astro comes back.
Yeah, and Gary's been quite quick recently, especially in qualifying, so see what he can do. Maybe get himself a podium.
I don't want to count him out. He's shown some pretty good pace in the recent races, probably maybe around the likes of Astro Boys, but yeah, if Astro has his day, then he can show it. I mean, like in Australia, where he of course won the season opening, he's back, and I mean, the guy has almost won the Season 2 championship, and in the end he didn't win it because of poor attendance. So I guess he is definitely quick. Question is just, can he go through the field? Maybe. If he can keep it out of trouble. Last week that didn't work too well.
So Hugo's is lining up on the grid for the Singapore Grand Prix. It's going to be 31 laps ahead of us under the lights at Singapore. Let's see what Hugo's can do off the line. Maybe Bryce can make a move into turn 1 if he's feeling bold enough, but you've got WoW and Julian behind them, Danny, Victorious, Astro Boys.
So yeah, we've got 31 laps ahead of us, but I assume not all of these drivers do. And let's hope no race ends early. They start late, of course. That's the first thing, because the starting lights don't really feel like doing anything.
This is great. This is a commentator's worst nightmare, and you're about to say, and it's lights out and away we...
I don't say that anymore. I've started copying Formula E because no one notices. I shouldn't have said that.
It might be Astro Boys.
Might be, but he's officially rejoined. Anyway, so this is...
but he's not in his car.
So this is what cold tires mean. It's gonna be great. Trust me.
That's a nice shot there. Look at the grid. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm getting a great shot as well for once in my life.
All the tyres lined up.
Yeah, the tyres are not... I mean, they are going to be lined up, but they are definitely not lit up after this waiting period.
Astro Boys. So, what are you having for dinner tonight?
I had a pretzel, and now we actually go after Astro's AI has jumped the start, and now the good camera angle is gone, and we go green in Singapore for hopefully a good race. It looks like Price Evolution got a good start off the line.
Oh no!
Wow.
It's the Astro Boys start again from Mexico. WoW goes around the outside of Bryce, turn 2. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. Bryce trying to fight the position back. Julian very, very close behind. Let's see what Garriott can do into the Raffles Boulevard. WoW has got past Bryce cleanly, but Bryce comes back. So Bryce is fighting this, and WoW looking to get into P2. Hugo's
Julian. Can Julian slip through? He can! Wow. Julian with a master move into P2, but now he goes wide. Price Evolution is wiggling. He holds off WoW, and now Gary sticks his nose down the inside.
Danny around the outside of Pretorius. Danny trying to go around the outside. Not going to make that work. Wow, up the inside of Gary, keeps that P4. But Julian with a massive dive bomb.
An amazing maneuver from him. I thought he had lost out there. Gary goes wide.
Gary and Wow.
And now Wow maybe getting through for a move. Anderson Bridge, and it's Wow back up into P4. But Bryce Evolution is between Julian and Wow really needs to get past Bryce soon if he wants to hunt for Julian.
Yeah, 1.3 seconds up at the top for Hugo's already after not even the end of lap 1 yet. But Pretorius and Danny looking to get past Gary and make up positions there. NJJ losing a place whilst battling with Light Cruiser. The midfield, as always, very close. Icewind looking to make up positions as well to get into the top 10.
That was quite an interesting start, and I think I just saw Gary having a little bit of oversteer and tagging the wall, but so far he hasn't taken any damage, any visible damage at least, but he looks like he's struggling at least a little bit. Julian on this...
so Hugo's really needs to capitalise on this. He's got the gap, he needs to defend the position if he wants to win this race.
Julian has already started closing in though, and it's going to be tough for Hugos.
Oh, Popo and Astro Boys going through turn 2 side by side. They're still going to go through turn 4. This is Astro keeping the line, but Popo is going to get the better exit. Can he make a dive like Julian did? Follow suit with his teammate as he goes. Tries to go down the inside, but Astro blocks that off. He's still going to make it though, and Astro is having to give up the position. He goes down the outside, off track, and then the McLaren of Light Cruiser gets round past Popo, and that.
NJJ and Basket
very good for Popo.
Oh god, so much going on right now. Yeah, that didn't play out well for him.
Yeah, Icewind and Popo as well. Icewind trying to get past Popo, who's in AI mode for some reason.
That's not good. So. Yeah, I mean, Astro Boy's defended by going off track there, but Popo sent an he did an almighty send. So I think that's fair. Wow is really close to the back of Bryce Evolution, and I imagine that the American will crack soon under the pressure the German's putting on in the Renault.
Icewind got past Popo, and now Bascadinho is having a go at him. To the inside, it's going into the final sector they go, keeping it close to the wall, and he does. Now it's NJJ, he's going to get past, Copy's going to get past, Overspeed's getting past.
I think it's because he's in... No, he's not in AI anymore.
He's not in AI anymore, no.
But, so Bryce has gotten a little bit of a gap, and actually Hugo so far, to my surprise, can go the pace of Julian. Now the question is Julian already giving it his all, or is he just trying to manage it for now? But honestly, I mean, if you want to get into DRS, there's no real reason to hold back. Popo down to P20 now behind Spilts and Chief, and yeah, that race has gone to crap very quickly for him. Now it's DRS for Wow on Bryce Evolution, but I didn't give him enough credit. I thought he was just gonna. Oh no!
Hope he doesn't get damaged for that.
I thought he was just gonna be a victim for the beasts to hunt, but actually he's holding his own very well against Wow so far, who has tagged him a little bit. Danny Coe looks a little bit impatient behind Pretorius, who himself looks impatient behind the Red Bull of Gary. Jensen may close in. Jensen's doing really well, he's holding his own on hards. So he's got a pace disadvantage, but because the others are holding each other up, he's still in a very good position for this race.
Yeah, the frustration, if it gets to you, you start making mistakes, and it's very easy to do around here. One bit of wing damage, and it's not a good track to have wing damage on. You're going to have to come to the pits. You won't make it to the end. So it's really crucial that you stay out of incidents this early in the race.
Oh, Gary almost tagging the wall in the second bridge there, and that is so easy to do. We've seen Crash there in real life, we've seen Crash there in several league races on EGL, and Gary almost the next, but he gets a very terrible run through turn 20 I think, and too many corners on this track. Jesus.
Julian's dropping back from Hugo's, it seems.
And now Pretorius is going down the inside of Gary. It looked like it moved on, but it's not.
Danny around the outside of Pretorius now as well, trying to get the switch back and get the better exit. Doesn't make it work this time, but can he do it again going into turn 4 with DRS? Gary won't have DRS. Pretorius will be all over the back of him. Let's see what he can do going down to turn 5.
And now to the inside he moves.
Bryce.
Oh wow!
Bryce into turn 5. Sorry. Wow goes wide. but Bryce is going to have to concede that position.
Down the move on Gary has been done, and now Danny will be the next.
Oh, Bryce down the inside of Wow at turn 7. That's not a place you want to be making an overtake. He nearly got cut off there. It's lucky he didn't have a collision, but he's got to go for these moves before Wow starts pulling away.
Yeah, he's doing really well. I thought he was going to be midfield after Monza, honestly, but he's giving Wow a run for his money. So massive credit for the relatively new driver on the roster. Also massive credit for Yugos, who's made a gap of 2.1 seconds. I mean, Julian is the man to beat in this championship, and it looks like Yugos is putting up a real show today. He's in P1, 2.3 seconds. His pace is great. Yeah,
someone else whose pace is great. Well, I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't know.
So
that was the worst line in commentary history.
Oh, that's not true. I'm sure I've done worse. Anyway, so
Wow's gonna have to close up on Julian here.
Yeah, and it's gonna be tough. 2.6 seconds. I mean, they've been at 3. Oh, Danny, go! Woo!
Yeah, especially opening DRS whilst you're off the track as well is very dangerous.
Yeah, but oh, that just, I'm pretty sure he just aged by 5 years doing that. That was not what you want to do. So, on the back straight then, or rather on something Boulevard. What is it called? Raffles.
Yes.
Nice. So on Raffles Boulevard. Danny's not close enough to Gary.
Astro and Bance going side by side. Astro's going to try and dive it down the inside. Hope he doesn't hit Tipsy, which he doesn't. But that was almost a George Russell and Romain Grosjean moment going through there.
Yeah, I thought the same. Was that the same corner as well?
Yeah.
It looks very different in real life, I've got to say.
Yeah, it does. It looks so much bigger than it is on the game. Light Cruiser on the back of this fight as well. So Astro trying to make amends for his poor qualifying.
Icewood's struggling a little bit, but he's on hard, so he's got a little bit of a time to charge mentally and then set himself up for a nice second stint, maybe extend the tires out until there's going to be a safety car. And Astro Boys has just gone off track. And let's actually hope he doesn't have the bug again he had last week and he had in Mexico, because he's left and rejoined the session once again. So let's hope he can actually get one. It's a terrible bug to have. And we've got yellows and Max Phil's.
Yeah. It's been hard for him making his entry into no assists in Tier 1, but he's
Astro passed Tipsy.
He's got a few good results.
Astro's passed Tipsy, and now Bance wants to as well, but there's no room there, buddy! You can't do that. And
Light Cruiser got past Bance. Light Cruiser's going to get past Bance here on the inside, is he?
Yeah, it looks like it. He's going to squeeze him up the wall, I think. Okay, it is fine.
Okay, Bance's going to keep that.
They're still alongside,
actually. They both have DRS. They both got DRS. No doubt Bance is going to send it, which he does.
And we've got yellows. Julian has spun. Julian has spinned it out of P2. He's down to P3, and now Price Evolution has his eyes set on him. So I don't know what happened there, but he was driving completely on his own, and a rare mistake knocks him out of P3.
And he's still going wide. I think he's got damage. Bryce would be unwise to send down the inside here. He can get it on the straight, but
I think his end plates are still there. But that's an unusual sight. Julian making a massive mistake, and he's dropped so much time there. Wow was getting closer anyway. Wow was the quickest out of the top 3, and now
Bryce going round the outside.
Woo.
Pretorius getting involved as well. He's going to go down the inside here. He's challenging the top so much, and that's overspeed. He's got off
move.
As well.
He's got it. Bryce Evolution up into P3. Amazing maneuver. And Pretorius is the next who's knocking on the door of Julian.
Bryce's a little twitch on the exit there, but he should be okay. Let's see if Julian pits. I wonder if he has damage. He was going really slow. It may just be overheated tyres after his spin.
I think his car's actually fine, but he's probably just lost the rhythm. And yellows, it's against Max Phil's, but we're gonna keep the focus on.
So now this train from P3 to P6. So Danny's just caught the back of it. That's the second penalty for Bance on lap 7.
Oh, I don't think I get to play penalties. I'm just playing blind. So Julian goes for
So
a
who's making the move?
very wide gap there on the outside. Maybe Pretorius can even slip through. Oh, they make
Oh, there
contact!
goes.
And now, can Pretorius follow through? Maybe Bryce breaks very late. It sends him deep into the corner. George Russell knows what's going to happen here. He actually doesn't, because it doesn't happen. Oh, Danny
Bryce
Coe!
goes wide, and then
Danny
Julian!
Coe is alongside!
Oh no, they're going to go 3 wide into here. This is not...
Don't!
Pretorius! Pretorius has gone past all of them. Danny on the inside, trying to get past Bryce now. Pretorius got through. Pretorius up into P3. Can he make amends?
Oh no, he tags Bryce!
Danny,
He tags Bryce!
no!
He tags him again! And maybe now Julian will get the position back. Yes, he does. Danny completely screwed his run up there by getting into the car of Bryce Evolution. I'm sure it wasn't intentional because it didn't help him at all. That was an amazing fight, and the fact that all of these are still running is a testament to the fact that the driving quality is really high here. And I hope I didn't just
Gary
win
and
something.
Jensen are on this train as well. So this train goes from P3 to P8, and then there's another train behind with Tipsy all the way down to P13. So the drivers are very close here, but Hugo's 5.4 away from WoW now after Julian's spin. So this race very much in his hands. Let's see, I think Julian is going to have a go at Bryce here, down into turn 1, take back P4, which he does. He goes very wide, and then Bryce
Switch back.
still fighting it. Wonderful racing between all these drivers. He's really showing them what he's made of, and he's going to try and get the switch back here at turn 4. No, he's not. He's going to outbrake him.
He's going so deep into that, and it works out perfectly, and Julian has to give him the room, and now Julian is still sitting duck without the DRS. Danny Coe's looking, and he maybe wants to get two into the corner, just like Julian did on lap 1. He's on the inside of Bryce.
Danny!
Oh, that's a massive
He
cut.
gets down the inside.
Oh, but Julian goes off track, so does Gary, and now they are still side by side, the Ferrari and the Haas, and there's almost contact, and Danny on the inside, P3 for him, P4, actually.
Bryce gets squeezed out on the exit.
Finally,
Now
Julian wants to go
inside.
there. Oh no, Danny Coe!
Danny, no!
And that's both of them
retired,
gone.
but that's a separate incident. But
Ends
Bryce.
in tears. I did really jinx it. Bryce
he
and...
was at P3,
Oh,
P4, and he's thrown that away with a collision with Danny. I think that was Danny's fault, really. He broke really late into that corner. Trying to be a bit too ambitious, maybe, but
I thought he...
it does end in tears.
I don't think I want to assign blame to anyone. I think it was a racing incident from what I've seen, because to me it looked like Danny was just trying to take a line, and Bryce had his nose in when he probably shouldn't have, and that's what caused that incident. We've lost Basket in you.
Yeah.
He has spun.
Wouldn't be surprised if there's a
And
safety car soon.
wait, is
and,
that Julian?
Who's that? Who's
Julian!
that?
No,
Popo.
never mind. It's Popo. Okay.
He's retired already.
Yeah.
So Jensen up into P5 after that.
Yeah, I mean things
On
are
his
going
hard
really
tyres.
well for him. He's on hards, and he's actually attacking Julian. Normally Julian always gets the better, or normally Julian gets the better of Jensen, but this time Jensen is really close to him, and that is on the stint that is supposed to be the weaker for him. And now Bryce Evolution, Danny Coe, both after their collisions come into the pits. Jensen,
Yeah, they should be
in
able
the
to get
Haas.
to the end.
It is another Haas car that is now challenging Julian. And the front is getting a little bit, is getting split up a little bit.
Yeah. Astro's benefited from this P7 on the back of a train as well. So that's good for him. Copy. Still in P12, so he hasn't actually made up too many positions starting P16. Despite all the carnage. NJJ on the back of him.
He's on hards. He's doing fairly well for that. But if he wants to get himself into contention here for any points, he needs to close into that Icewind Band's Tipsy train very soon. Because that's where the DRS is, and maybe he can work his way through the grid there to reach the points.
Yeah, so Pretorius comes into the pit, maybe trying
early,
to
but within the
gain
window.
some time on an undercut to WoW, see if they respond on next lap, which I assume they will. But I mean, Wow can stick it out another few laps because the gap was around 5 seconds, so he doesn't have to worry too much about being undercut. Just depends where Pretorius is going to come out in traffic. He's actually going to come out with a near like 7-second gap to NJJ, so that's well planned by Pretorius. Jensen onto the back straight then. He's going to stick behind Julian once again. Julian goes a bit wide.
Jesse is surprising me a little bit with his pace. Early into Sorel, he said that he's not really bothered driving and practicing Singapore, and he doesn't even know if he wants to show up, but in the end, he probably thought, well, better do something than not doing anything.
Jensen, 3-second time penalty.
Jensen, oh yeah, I really don't get his plate penalties. Because I did not see that anyways. He's surprising me for the fact that he did not practice, according to what he said. So, he's doing really well for that.
People who don't practice and you find yourself up in P4, how do you do that?
I mean, he's picked up pace in the past. But generally, I'm never that person, and I'm always frustrated against these people. So I agree.
So,
how you do that? Share your secrets.
Yes, Copy's caught up to the train on the back of Icewind now. This will be a tasty battle. But, well, pits. Oh, yeah, yes.
Oh, and he tags the wall! And that is his wing gone, and that is his wheel gone!
Safety car, surely. I mean, guys are going virtual safety car. Everyone's going to pit now, surely.
Yeah. Well,
Tipsy Bob's missed the pit lane. So that's not good for him.
Yeah.
Hugo's didn't pit because he was already
pass, yeah. That's gonna give the
passed.
others.
So Julian's gonna undercut. Oh no, it wasn't Julian now.
Wow.
It's Wow. So it's Wow who came in a virtual safety car. Maybe he might undercut.
Yeah, I mean,
Hugo's here.
I don't think he's gonna get ahead of him. The gap was like 5 seconds. I don't think he'd gain quite that much, but he gained a lot.
I think he gained around 10 seconds pitting under VSC.
I think it's more like 5, so I think they will be close together.
Okay.
I don't know, so, you know. Because, I mean, you're not... I mean, it's not like you're literally crawling. You're just a little bit slow. And I don't think it turns the 20-second disadvantage into a 10-second disadvantage. But I might be wrong. I mean, we're gonna see. Gap was like 5 seconds. And, well, let's actually check. The gap to Wow is 28 seconds? That doesn't seem right. VSC ending, and Yugos is ahead by 26 seconds. So, I mean, a pit stop is not that much. It looks like Wow didn't gain any pace, really.
Seems bizarre. But Hugo's just going to come into the pits now, so we'll see where he comes out.
Yeah, very nice on the pit entry as well. And we're gonna see if there's any change of fortune up ahead. Of course, one thing to consider, we saw that in Spa. Tipsy is 2 seconds...
Icewind on Ocean. Teammates battling Icewind on the new medium tyres. Ocean's just going to let him past.
Yeah. Another thing to consider, if Tipsy's going to get into the way of Yugos, expect it... Okay, no, he doesn't.
No, Wow. Look, Wow's coming through. Wow, this is going to be very close. Wow is coming into turn 1 now. Hugo's is right there. And he gets past. He does.
And it's been
Wow
basically
is into the lead.
Exactly 5 seconds. And that's spiced things up really much. If I was Yugos, I'd be fuming in that helmet, because he has just lost the lead to something completely out of his control. He's basically punished for the fact that he was already up ahead. Yeah, well up ahead the grid, and now he has been punished for that, and it is a second to Wow. I think he's had really good pace in the first stint, but I don't know if it was enough, and I don't know if it's going to be enough in Singapore to close the gap, hold yourself there, and then sometime make the move, because it's always difficult in Singapore to make a move, even if you're not me. And NJJ is past Tipsy, who has pitted himself. Wait, no. Oh, NJJ! Oh, NJJ! What are you doing? Oh no, and he goes into Tipsy, but he was completely out of control there. So that must have been spooky. There's a safety car. If actually, sorry. There's a yellow in sector 2, and if there's going to be a safety car, what I actually wanted to say, we'll put Jensen in the lead. But I think we're not gonna get a safety car.
Right, so he's gonna park it there. Good game.
I just pressed the retire key. Yeah, nothing happens. I mean, Singapore is just known for the fact that it's super, super easy to just get a car out the way. They never block the entire
I
track.
spent on the back of Tipsy as well.
Yeah, I'm watching that. Yeah, it's been cooking for a little bit. Bryce Evolution! We've lost Bryce Evolution, and he's lacking his left side front wing. He was actually close to Danico. Let's hope they didn't meet each other a second time in this race. That would be quite the shame. Actually, Yugos has lost a lot of time on WoW as well.
Yeah, I think it might be over for the win, but you never know. Very easy to get a safety car here.
Yeah, Yugos been so good in...
Icewind past Tipsy 10.
Yeah, he's done it, so... He's on medium, so he's gotta charge through the field now. Oh, Tipsy! He won't be charging anywhere apart from into the wall backwards. As Ocean Chief passes him, I want to quote racing driver and philosopher Tipsy. Imagine finishing second to Ocean Chief. As Ocean Chief is now past him. So, that's that. That happened, and it's sad. And Yugos actually dropping rapidly from WoW. I don't really know what was going on. I think in the first stint he was barely getting away, but he was quicker. And now he is most definitely not. Someone who's also kind of changed his pace or performance is Julian. He's now on the back of Pretorius. Pretorius earlier having been in a solid P3, now he's of course behind Copy and Jensen, who are yet to pit, but Julian has picked up his pace once again and is now right on his tail, and they're gonna fight for provisional P3. Danico is past Ocean Chief. Imagine that was the back straight.
Yeah.
You know, Singapore's like one of these tracks that makes me happy about the fact that Baku and Vietnam are the way they are, because they are street circuits, so overtaking is gonna be tough, but at least they have terribly long straights. Unfortunately, a little bit too easy to overtake, but the contrast is Singapore, and definitely Monaco as well. Monaco worse than this, and it's sometimes really unnerving, but I mean, you can still overtake, and maybe Julian can put it on display.
Yeah, you've got to have a lot of confidence in your car that it will stick if you do go for moves around these corners. I know from Thursday it's very nerve-wracking when you're behind a car and you need to get past, you can be pulling away. It's really frustrating. You want to send it, but you're going to get damage if you do, so you just need to wait until the opportunity arises, or they make a mistake.
Yeah,
which could be the whole race in my case.
Or you send it down. Oh wait,
or you send it here.
Oh, that's such a weird moment for an overtake, and he's alongside, but it's not enough.
No.
Pretorius can carry the momentum. Yeah. Or you have to hope that you show yourself down the inside, then your lagged car pretends to dive bomb.
Squeeze them on the exit.
Then your lagged car pretends to dive bomb, so Timo steers out of his way, and then you actually send it, and that's how Joel gets through. How you can overtake at Singapore. Anyway.
Yeah,
so
you just scare them off the track with bad internet connection.
I checked it's potentially because a Brit hosted, and I have a very bad connection to Great Britain, so maybe it was
I did the exact same move on my teammate Larson on the lap before, so should have seen it coming, to be honest.
Well, I didn't look in my mirror. I was anxiously looking at walls.
Someone who will be looking in their mirrors is Julian. Astro Boyce is closing up because he's being held up by Pretorius.
Oh, that's gonna be a juicy Mercedes sandwich, but maybe not for long. Julian, very brave on the brakes, and that's a move done. And that's that talking point gone, because that was very clean, and now he's released. He's 6 seconds behind Copy, but he's most certainly gonna end up ahead of Copy at the end of the race, unless a safety car happens or Julian gets into trouble.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through the race.
Singapore's always a little long.
It is. So, Astro, why'd you cut that so much? He's definitely got the no warnings glitch. That would have been a slam dunk penalty straight away. I mean, he didn't even attempt to make the apex.
I'm seeing a theme here. not trying to throw around any accusations, but it's always his PC who decides to spontaneously commit the head out, and then,
Every race.
yeah, every
Always
race.
before the race.
I don't think it's intentional, but but it's like, meh. It's just the X12 and he tabs out and in as much as he can to provoke it now. It's not me crashing the game. The game is at fault.
So I look, Pretorius is going to come back at Julian here. Not with those lines though.
So
But he has DRS still, so if he can stay in DRS, he'll be able to defend from his teammate.
yeah, the ERS fight is definitely on the side of Julian. Pretorius is at 40%. Julian almost nothing. Nothing spent on his side. One thing that I always see when I observe Julian is that he never uses any ERS unless he's on a proper straight. So he always runs 0 and then 4. That's just the way he goes about things. And sometimes 5. Right now it's 5. It's an interesting way to drive.
If you don't need it, don't use it. I mean, you're going to save anyway. Running ERS through these corners isn't going to give you much of an advantage.
Yeah, it is true. It's only potentially gonna upset your car's balance because you get a little bit more of a push out of the corners. So, yeah, that's that. ERS low and
So,
corners makes
Wow,
a lot of
what will
sense.
be interesting is Wow is going to close up on Jensen here, who's yet to pit. And Hugo's, maybe he can make up a bit of more time on Wow whilst he's stuck behind Jensen.
Yeah, I wonder how much Jensen's gonna sacrifice his own pace realistically. Oh wow, that's surely a warning, isn't it? And if it's not, that I've been driving the track wrong.
I didn't see it. I wasn't even looking at the screen. So, Pretorius is trying to stay in DRS. Jensen's weaving.
Casually weaving.
Or maybe just say I'm going to let you past, and he does.
Well,
There's a bit of communication between the drivers there.
that was quick. I thought he was gonna put up a fight because it doesn't look quite like Jensen to just let someone through. It's not a very Jensen thing to do. Oh, now Wow is weaving. Would be pretty funny.
Saying thank you or something, I don't know.
Yeah, it would have been pretty funny had he let him pass through and they would have repeated it until Hugo's got her. Would be pretty good.
Hope we're not going to see very many inter-team orders. We don't want that. Jensen going to hold up Hugo's? I hope not. Astro is in DRS of Pretorius.
I wonder if his helmet is like a reference to Bottas' helmet, because he's in a Mercedes and it kind of looks like it. So it's blue, white, and black.
Astro?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
might well be. It's over. I'm just gonna assume it is and then say. Nice
Danico with a
helmet.
penalty. His race hasn't been going very well.
Yeah, it
P8
had,
after that.
it had been,
Yeah.
but then something happened, and then it didn't. It's unfortunate for him. He's not been the luckiest in the last rounds. Of course, getting pole twice, but then things not playing out in his favor at all as
Copy in the
pits.
pits.
So, yeah, wait, he's gonna come out. Actually, Iceman is interesting me because Iceman has been driving on mediums for quite some time now, and he has undercut Copy massively, but his tires are gonna die off to the end. He pitted on lap 13 for mediums. He was just basically driving a normal strategy, but then he
Icewind just got another penalty.
oh wow, for the outside, that's ridiculous. I mean, I got that in practice, but to be fair, I got every potential penalty in practice, so of course I've encountered this one as well. He's gone wide there, which is in my opinion still ridiculous. I mean, there's barely a car fitting, like, yeah, barely car fits on the outside, then you can still get a warning there. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter if it's Monaco or France. Icewind will always find a way. It's a bit on the edge, that. Okay. So, Astro Boy's on the back of his teammate Pretorius, and Race has calmed down a bit. Garriock closing in on Light Cruiser also. And overspeed on Bascadinho.
I'm still using the time to just catch my breath after the 10 laps we've had at the start that were very, very, very exhausting. So, a bit of
Jensen
information.
is finally.
Jensen pits now. Also wonder when he's gonna come out and what he gonna be capable of doing in the second stint. So he's gonna be behind the two Mercs. Maybe even behind Light Cruiser and Jensen is a perfect fight that never goes wrong. And actually, Jensen will have to get past him. And he's gonna come out right with Icewind, who completely goes off track and therefore throws away a chance at getting out ahead of Jensen. Maybe with the DRS. I just doubt it. But maybe he can do something. I think in Jensen's... I think the max Jensen can do here is get P4 maybe. Mediums are really quick here in comparison to hards, so I expect he's gonna slice his way through the field against all the hard runners ahead of him, but then overtaking will hold him back a little. So I think P4 is still realistic, and but Julian might be in safety.
So, Hagrid, I think it's Hagrid in chat, saying Astro is cutting the course properly off a few times and still doesn't have a warning.
Yeah, he once again disconnected and reconnected at the start of the race. You can get a warning for this, what you just did, by the way, which is also ridiculous. Actually gonna run on board a little bit. Yeah, he's got the bug once again, so there we go. Copy on the back of Danica, so maybe something is going to move between those two.
Yeah.
Jensen also on the back of Gary now.
This is the point in the race where things start to quieten down a bit and you start to lose focus, and that happens, you start making mistakes and your race can go downhill. I mean, it's very difficult to keep concentration for the whole race here. It's very long.
Yeah, it is the longest race in the calendar, of course, because it is very slow. And now Jensen goes on Gary. Is he gonna make it stick? Yes, he is. Very bold move and very decisive, and it just
like
works.
A carbon copy of me and you, wasn't it?
I don't know if...
Well, I mean, backing out at that turn afterwards. You could have sent it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it would have been dumb, though, so... And had I not killed myself on the Anderson Bridge, I would have also been fine with the penalties for that. But I did kill myself on the Anderson Bridge, so... Would have only taken away 1 point. Would have still been a point scorer. Not a points scorer, though.
Oh no, Jensen, I've got that rev glitch. That's nice.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Tipsy Bob and Bryce Evolution. Tipsy's gonna go. Oh, he's gonna go for the move here. He's gonna get it done before the corner. Bryce is not gonna. Well, he's gonna try and fight him. He's not gonna get that, and he taps the back of Tipsy.
Alright, yeah, that put him wide a little bit. Tipsy Bob up into P14. Not a very impressive result for him if it goes like that. But Singapore, I mean, something is gonna happen to some drivers. Unfortunately, Tipsy didn't get the best races here. Copy on Iceman. Well, Iceman pits. So Iceman did indeed
Jensen,
not follow through on these tyres. He should have just stayed out on the hard, I say.
Yeah, Jensen's going to have DRS much like Tipsy did on Bryce. Oh, Light Cruiser's going to cover the inside. He's going to fade to the outside. And then he's going to dive into turn 1. Make that move quite easily, actually. I don't think Light Cruiser's going to put up a fight because he's on those mediums.
Yeah, he sold him the dummy successfully. And it worked out quite nicely. So this time, I mean, it looked like he was taking a little bit of risk. But it's been fine this time. This race, Jensen actually got to get ahead of Light Cruiser without death. and agony.
Astro and Pretorius, the battle still continues for P4. Yeah, and Hugo's is dropping back a lot from WoW. So, unless there's going to be some strategical masterstroke in terms of safety cars, I don't think Hugo's is going to be winning this race. But I think he might keep P2, as the gap behind Julian is quite large, 9.4.
Yeah, Julian hasn't really looked like himself today, and it hasn't been the greatest race for him. He's not had that much pace compared to...
Well, I mean, I don't think he was very prepared because he was asking me what the strategy was before the race, so...
Nice.
I mean... Who else would you ask?
I always just... I just take my commentator's privilege and look at the commentator's channel when Netflix has hopefully posted the strategy. That's what I look at. Because Netflix knows his strategies.
Am I the only sweat who looks back at last season and watches the whole race and takes note?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Well, I only, like, I check qualifying, see what the times are, see what to aim for, see what to get depressed about because I can't match it. And
look where people are getting warnings as well and see how not to get penalties. It doesn't work, but
oh, no,
I mean...
No, I just do it, like, I find it out.
Yeah.
I just drive and try not to get penalty, and after 20 laps when I'm finally disqualified, I know where you can get warnings. I still don't know how that worked, how I did get away with 2 warnings that I got in consecutive laps. In the one place, I didn't get a singular warning in the race I got disqualified in. I still don't know how that worked. I got, on lap 10 and 11, I went off track in turn 2, and that gave me warnings. Still don't know.
So Astro Boys has closed up quite dramatically actually, so 7/10 the gap. Be the effective DRS.
And he is now close to Mr. AE, or AE, or Pretorius. I wonder what this might call him. Or how Astro Boys calls him, his teammate. By the way, it took me like 15 races or something to realize that just stands for teammate. I did not know.
Right, so surely that's a warning. And it's not.
Ha 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 ha, you fool. Yeah,
I thought Singapore races were supposed to be exciting.
I think it's...
I mean, the first half was.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not bad right now. We have battles building up between Astro and Pretorius. Also, Jensen has been closing absolutely rapidly on the 2 Mercedes up ahead. I've already mentioned how Jensen and Light Cruiser didn't work out well last race. Well, Jensen and Astro haven't either. In these mediums...
Tipsy got a 5-second penalty for speeding.
Oh, well, and that is maybe... Nah, he's retired in the pits.
Yeah.
Imagine finishing second to Ocean, but you can't finish second to someone if you don't finish. There you go. Nice strategy, Tipsy. I see what you did there. So,
Oh, surely that's a cut as well for Astro. It just... Okay, I'll stop talking about that now.
This is like me,
And now he's not using DRS. He's playing some mind games here.
Yeah, this is like me in practice.
Let me count his penalties.
This is like me in practice when I kept saying next warning, next wall hit. That's Astro right now. Yeah, I mean, it's just a horrible bug to have, honestly, because I mean, you know, if you're gonna abuse it, then you're gonna get in trouble, but if you... Like, I mean, if you don't, then you leave time on the table, and while someone else can play with the track limits, and you can't really because, like it's all you deciding how much you want to cut. So, And if you overdo it, then you get penalized. And if you decide to be very conservative on it, then you just lose time to people who actually get warnings so they can drive as aggressive as they want to. Because if they do something wrong, they actually get a penalty. It's not an easy spot to be in. And it's interesting that it happens to Astro every single race. But I'll stop making accusations here. I'm not gonna assume there's bad intent. It's just very unfortunate. Gary is super close to Light Cruisers. Something is building up there, and Jensen already in the DRS window of both Astro and Pretorius. Now Astro is of course gonna use his teammate as a little bit of a shield, which he has. I mean, Pretorius has got Astro's back, but from the front. As Jensen gets a really good run, and maybe that's already the first position for him. He's gonna look around the outside. Untypical overtaking spot. Gonna be squeezed off. Bit of contact. That looked dicey. And now Astro almost off the back of Pretorius. Brilliant run for Jensen. Maybe he can do something into that turn 4. That's not what I meant. I thought he was gonna get a good run. Oh boy! Astro super sideways, and Jensen has already split the two Mercedes. And now Pretorius is gonna be next, and surely he's gonna falter before the end of the race. I think Julian is too far, but Jensen's on a charge. Has Julian got a penalty? Because Jensen has.
I will have a look.
Yeah, check Julian and Jensen, please. And also Pretorius. Gary and Light Cruiser are still close together, so it's not like we don't have any fights. They're just...
So, Julian, 1 warning.
Oh,
Pretorius, 1 warning. Jensen, 1 penalty and 2 warnings. And
so I think
I won't continue going
Julian
down.
is safe, and we've lost Iceland or Ocean. Ocean. He's gone straight on under the bridge, and that is oh, that's Hugo behind him. Yeah, that is you. Oh, Ocean's disconnected, so that's... Oh, never mind. He's blue flag. That's why he's ghosted. That's not irritating at all. I love everything about that.
No, I think Jensen can catch up to Julian if he gets past Pretorius on this lap. I think he's got the pace.
I think he can catch up, but I don't think it's gonna be an overtake in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So maybe he can pressure Julian into mistakes, but Julian knows the stakes, so I don't think he's gonna be forced into some. We've already... I mean, he's already made his 1 mistake for this half of the season, so now it's over. He's not gonna make any more. Still, with that mistake of spinning out, he's still gonna finish P3. Unless some commentators cursing him. Maybe I'm trying.
Right, so he's going down the inside of Pretorius. Makes that move relatively easy. Question is he going to be able to pull away and get onto the back of Julian?
Gary on Light Cruiser. It's been brewing for some laps, and now there's actually something happening between them! Oh no! And Copy gets 1, and Copy will probably get 2, because Light Cruiser's going to be compromised after that. So that puts Copy up into P7, but Gary, facing the wrong way, is now going to be caught by Danico, and
it's going to go down the inside here on Light Cruiser. Makes that easy for him. He has damage.
Light Cruiser in another incident. Last week didn't go well, and this doesn't either. That is unfortunate. I think Light Cruiser last week died in that crash Hugo's caused in Lesmo 2, I think. I remember McLaren having a brutal end.
What, Light Cruiser?
Yeah, I think it was Light Cruiser.
With Jensen?
No, I mean in Lesmo 2, last lap.
Oh.
Because I just remembered that Light Cruiser actually didn't die in the Jensen crash.
So it's 4.8 already, and he's not even had a lap to catch up. 4.7. Jensen's catching up quick here.
Yeah, I think it will be enough to see the racing points Brea, but it won't be enough to clear the penalty, because as soon as Julian checks penalties, he knows, well, I would have to be 7 seconds slower than Jensen here, so there's no need to push. The only way Julian throws this away is by going off track, and I mean, you can just stay on track if you want to and accept the fact that you're gonna lose time, but it's not gonna be too much time. Iceman ahead of Gary, because Gary goes into the pits, so that puts Iceman into the points, and retirement from Gary, so we're gonna get home with 16 drivers. Max Wiltz has had a nightmare of a race, actually, but he's still running, so credit goes out to him. Of course, he scored his first point last time, but this week he hasn't. Well, actually, this week he has once again failed to reach his goal, which is beat Ocean Chief.
So I'm looking in chat here. Okay, no, that's from earlier. Oh, overspeed's gone. Overspeed span.
Yeah. What you said about the focus going away, I think it's showing to be true right now because we're seeing incident after incident. It's been a really clean first half of the race, but now it's all slowly falling apart for a lot of drivers actually. So yeah, that's not good for him at all, but it honestly didn't really cost him anything. I don't know if he was behind or ahead of Basket in before that.
I think he was just behind, looking to make the move. So maybe he was a bit eager on the throttle.
Over the last lap, Astra's reliably driven 48.8 and not done anything about Pretorius. Has literally done. He hasn't.
He's not using DRS.
We've lost Williams, and I think that's probably overspeed. Yes, it is.
Again.
Anderson Bridge, I've crashed it. Oh, it's not Jensen, that's Price. So this time he's actually lost something. VSC for that. Well,
why is he going back? Okay, he's re-overtaken Bryce under VSC. That does not make much sense.
Nice. Maybe he told him that he would. Maybe because the VSC started while he was still spun, and then Bryce overtook him, so Overspeed had like 8 seconds on his delta and could overtake. Won't matter for him because he has to get a new nose. Oh! He was very close to needing a new
with
tire
no
there.
wing, he's going to have to get back to the pits safely.
In he goes. Let's hope that goes well because it's quite an interesting pit entrance.
So I wonder why there are team orders here between the two Mercedes, because Astro is not using ERS. He's not deploying DRS when he has it.
Maybe it's just because he's aware of his warnings back and he doesn't want to take a position of Pretorius when he hasn't deserved it or something. I'm just gonna interpret the best of intentions in that, even though that was a clear warning. But yeah, he's not using his DRS, so staying behind Pretorius and giving me more reason to believe that he's actually running a Bottas helmet. Oh, Danny very close to Light Cruiser now, so that's probably gonna be the last fight of this race. As the move is done easily onto the main straight, well ahead as we go into the braking zone. Nice move from Danny. His race has been terrible, but at least he can put 2 more points onto his tally here, so it's gonna be 4 for him. Copy's gonna get 6 points, Julian is gonna get 15, so that's a swing of 9 points in the championship in favor of the young Dutchman.
Yeah, so 2 laps to go. So yeah, Wow's going to win this race comfortably. From Hugo's in a very good P2. It's just the virtual safety car screwed over his strategy. Maybe he could have defended the position from Wow if he was ahead after the pit stops. But Julian will be P3 unless something changes in these last 2 laps. I doubt Jensen is going to catch up and make the position. And what's this? Do I see raindrops?
I don't think
Have you
so.
turned off your rendering settings again?
No, I haven't.
I see raindrops on Jensen, on his halo. There's definite rain there.
I don't, but maybe there's... Oh yeah, now I see them as well. Nice.
So will we see some spins, hopefully?
I could have come earlier, would have been quite funny. Yeah, you can see the rear of the racing point as forecasted, but Oh, it's forecast.
It's like quali, like
Yeah,
it was in the...
but not early enough. I wanted some fun, but we had our fair share of rain driving in Singapore in in the race of last season. So that's that. Has Jensen picked up another penalty in the meantime? By the way, is he still on 3 seconds? I still don't see penalties.
I don't think he did. Let me
Because
have a look.
if he did, then he would be behind Pretorius. Not behind Astro, because Astro bottled something. He's 2 seconds behind his team.
No penalties.
Yeah.
Well, no more.
Oh, you can see it. Oh, Astro's approach is changing rapidly. He is driving very differently now. And Julian is gonna get past Ocean's car here.
Why is Astro dropped back so much?
I don't know, it's 3-7 now.
What's he doing?
Don't know.
Whoa!
Because he ran out of talent. Oh, if I watch him, then it looks like there's no grip left on the track. But if I watch Pretorius, all looks fine. It's very weird. Oh, Copy! Copy is actually past him. What's going on for Astro? Laps are only 20
just
in these times.
struggling these conditions, but we're on the last lap.
But that much?
I don't know.
So weird. And Iceman has passed Light Cruiser on the final lap as well. If you've got yellows, it's a Ferrari. It's gonna be Danico, who's gone on, but doesn't lose anything from it. Only the potential to catch Astro. And but it all won't matter because this guy here has driven a brilliant race. He got himself ahead in the VSC, but with a 10-second gap he has made, I have no doubt in my mind he would have been able to catch up to you guys anyway. And now he comes across the line to claim a very deserved victory after a terrible race in Italy. And
yeah, the rain's really come down now, isn't it?
It is the win for WoW. You guys, great race as well. P2, he's going to be a little bit unsatisfied after how he lost the lead, but still
Jensen got the gap down to 2.5.
Jensen across the line. Pretorius, the gap to Pretorius is huge. Iceman has passed Danny. Danny's completely sliding. He's tagged the wall and that's killed his front wing. So
oh,
he goes deep. Light Cruiser.
Yeah.
Oh, Light Cruiser's passed as well. So everything goes well into the bridge section here.
Oh, Bascadinho struggling as well, going understeering into the wall. Really difficult conditions. It's practically wet track, dry tyres at the moment.
Yeah, so...
Oh, an overspeed coming across the line. Off track.
Oh, goodbye. That was
Astro as well! Look at Astro's car!
Yeah.
He's got his wheel off in half a front.
And Icewind... Oh, right, yeah, that's because the bug sets you back for the time you've been disconnected. And I think he's been for like a minute, so that's why he's dropping down the order now. But I'm sure that will be reinstated because, well, I think he deserves P6 here. The bug is of course unfortunate, but the gap behind him was pretty big and he didn't use it against his teammate. I'm sure he is not to blame here. So,
yep, that's Godinho and Bryce just to cross the line for the Singapore Grand Prix. Not being as long as it could have been, but
yeah,
a very entertaining race at the start.
There was no proper safety car. I found the end not bad as well. There was still
only 2 VSCs.
There were still things happening. We had a fight between Gary and Light Cruiser.
Oh yeah, it's really wet on the start-finish race.
Yeah,
most people
gets into the points, but I think Astro will get reset to P6 or P7.
So Bryce won't be very happy.
P7. Yeah, Bryce. I mean, he can be satisfied with his performance early in the race. After that, he kind of slipped under the radar after he had his incidents. So.
And Max, the one to cross the line, he kept going, very resilient. But that is the Singapore Grand Prix for season 4 of SLR.
And I wonder now, who is our driver of the day? Wow, you guys both had a penalty. That's interesting.
Well, that's a difficult decision because, well, where did Jensen start?
He finished. He started in P10.
And he finished P4?
Yeah, for me it's basically between Jensen and Wow.
Yeah. I give it, I don't know, you decide. Copy from P16 to P6.
I mean, Wow has gotten plenty of driver of the days, and he's also gotten plenty of race wins. He's also got one more today. It's it goes without saying that his race was absolutely brilliant, and he definitely deserves this. But I think I want to give it to Jensen because he had a difficult time out last week. I expected him to struggle because his attitude towards the game sounded like, meh, I don't want to, please leave me alone. And
yeah,
he's maybe not in the best place, but without putting in too much time, he still drove a very good race and took very well deserved P4. And I think that's a driver of the day for me. I'm happy for him, and I was also kind of surprised. So
yeah.
I'll give it to
Jensen.
Jensen.
Agree. I'm going to have to go now, so I'll leave you for the interviews.
I mean, that is incredible. You always leave me alone.
Well, I mean...
How dare you?
Yeah.
No. Okay. Yeah, thanks for commentating with me, of course.
That's fine.
So that was Jola. Now we're gonna bring in some new company that will leave me as well after talking to us. But in this case, it's the interviews, so it's fine. And we're gonna have a little chat to I think Wow and Jensen, because they have lined themselves up in the gentleman's lounge, and I'd say mid-sentence I am just a very rude person. So Wow, you're here once again. It's a little bit of a habit. Last week wasn't the best race. You had a little bit of an off, but today was must have been a little bit of redemption after that. You finished 10 seconds clear of Yugos, even though you didn't lead in the first stint. How did it go for you?
Pretty well. I was just talking about that to Jensen before you put me here. Well, the race start was a bit... am I lagging again?
You're lagging a little bit indeed, yeah. You can try to talk, it's not that bad so far.
It comes back now and then, so I try.
Yeah, just talk for now, I'll try to understand you.
Okay, so the laps were a bit difficult because the tires were cold after we were standing like 50 seconds or something.
Yeah, it was not awkward at all commentating.
But yeah, after those 3 laps, I was in P3. Then Julian spun and I could overtake him.
Yeah, where did he do that? I completely missed that. I just suddenly saw that he was out of P2, and then where did he do that?
Well, after this first hairpin thing, he did the left-hander after that. So like 8 or something like that.
I'm not very good with Singapore in general. Sector 2, I assume. After the bridge, or?
Yeah. Early sector 2, yeah.
Okay. I think I know what you mean. Yeah, that's... I was shocked when that happened. I mean, you were not close to him, were you?
I was pretty surprised because I even touched him a little bit, like went into him a little bit, but luckily no winged him. But yeah, then for the next few laps, there's nothing really happening. I was trying to catch up to Shigos. And then I wanted to pit, and the same lap the VSD happened, which was pretty lucky for me. Yeah, and I could overtake him, so I did the best undercut I could have done. And yeah, from there on, I was just pushing pretty much as hard as I could, maybe. But I don't know what I want to say. Yeah. So I was just managing the gap, extending it and driving it safe till the end.
It worked out really well. A question I have in my mind is, what was different between stint 1 and 2? Because in the first one, it was Yugos was, I think, able to keep Yol at a distance. He was slowly driving away from Julian, and after Julian was gone, I think he kept his gap to you at around 5 seconds. There was not much moving. And then in the second gap, in the second stint, of course, in the pit stops, you got ahead. And at that moment, I thought, wow, this is really unlucky for Yugos. He's been screwed over by the game here. But then over the second stint, the 20 laps that was, you gained 10 seconds on him, so you were quite significantly quicker than him. Do you think he just slowed down, or did you finally find your rhythm where hard's better for you? What's the difference?
Difficult to say. I also was a bit surprised that he was I think 3/10 per lap slower than me at one stage, and it got even bigger during until the end. But I think I was just better with the hards. My setup just was better with the hards. I ran with 10 wings, which is pretty much, but you definitely need that. And I think all the others were, except for a few ones, were running with way less. I would say like 7-9 or something. And the hards are slow anyway. So you need even more downforce, and I think that's what made the difference.
That's interesting. For the final question, on a scale from yes to yes, how much do you hate Russia? On the track, not getting political.
Oof, it's difficult to say. I think it's a pretty yes on that scale.
Okay.
I'm not really looking forward, but I also haven't done any laps there yet, and I will see. It's pretty hard on
strict
track limits. Yeah, track limits.
They're gonna make a huge difference. But if you can keep it clean, maybe you're gonna get yet another win in. I'm checking right now because this has been your 6th win of the season, and even though, yeah, you've I think overtaken Pretorius in the. I think you've overtaken Pretorius in the driver standings now, but you're still only in P3, and you've got the most wins of anyone this season so far.
Again, overtaking Pretorius. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of a battle with him.
Yeah.
But
Monza didn't help, I imagine.
Yeah, my main goal was to catch up to Julian and Copy, but yeah, Monza was a bit of an.
Yeah. Copy had a poor race today. Julian wasn't quite on form. It still looks like a bit of a. It still looks like a bit of a stretch. Like last week, I calculated it. You could still, if you just won every race from now on, you could still win the championship without any one of them having to bottle it for it. But of course, that's unlikely. And after Italy, it looked quite different. But today, I mean, we saw you didn't give up, and I think we're gonna see you in the fight at Russia again if you keep it clean. So congrats again, and see you next week. Thanks for the interview.
Yes, see you. No problem.
So we're gonna bring in the next gentleman. That is the next person I grab mid-conversation.
Oh yes, no problem.
You want to drag me out?
Yes, I do.
Or...
Okay, so so hello, Mr. Jensen.
Hello.
You're actually driver of the day because I thought, well, you know, bad things happened in Monza, and your motivation just from reading general chat into us, you considered not even driving, and then in the end, race turned out really well. So I thought that was worthy of a driver of the day. Are you happy with how it went?
Yeah, thanks. I actually had fun, so I'm also happy that I did drive. So that's good at least. Qualifying, I made a judgment error because we just set our hard tire lap and it started to drizzle, and I was like, nah, no way that we can improve anymore. It was coming down quite rapidly, or at least so I thought. Yeah. So I just retired, but. The rain wasn't a second slower from the start, so people with medium tires still managed to set a decent lap time. I had to start P10 on the hard tire. Due to all the fighting in front of me, I managed to stay with a lot of them. So that was good, but of course I needed to drive a lot longer than the medium runners, so I got undercutted by 6 or 7 laps. So it was a overtaking challenge at the end, which went pretty well, I think.
Yeah, it certainly did. Did you think at the end maybe you can still try and get Julian, or was that just...
Nah, I knew I had a 3-second penalty, and I almost had 6 seconds, because you have the hairpin right after the bridge, and then you have the small straight.
Yeah.
And then you have the right corner afterwards.
Oh,
and
no.
if you go wide there, and I did it a few times, you get a warning.
You got multiple there.
I got 2 or 3 there, I think.
Oh, that's actually ridiculous. I was like Astro went off there once in the race, and I said, "Did you know that you can get a penalty by doing that? That is ridiculous. That shouldn't be a thing." And
I got 3 warnings, I think there.
It just occasionally invalidate my TT lap there, but in the race, like multiple there. That is truly unfortunate. It really feels like they're rolling dice sometimes there.
Yeah, but I'm actually happy. I wasn't the fastest, but that's logical. I did 3 laps, I think, of practice.
Nice.
But at least I finished the race, and it was still P4 in the end. So that was good. The battle with Astro was hilarious. I don't know if you guys viewed that one, but he pushed me wide in turn 1, and then he wanted to defend, and right when he got back to the racing line, I dove on the inside of him, a little bit of a dummy, and I was laughing so hard. Yeah. But those were good times. So
we also we saw that. We also saw you selling Light Cruiser, the absolute dummy. I guess you had enough of being in the inside in a right-hand kink that works like a straight.
It wasn't an intentional one. I was like, oh, if I go on the inside here, I know what happened last time. Let's go for the more space move. So I went to the outside immediately. But I guess for him it was kind of a dummy. But
I just saw it and thought, this man has PTSD and he's not gonna do it again.
yeah, something like that. Yeah. But in the end, happy, and thanks for drive of the day. Appreciate it. Good to see that I managed to get forward. Same for Copy, of course, because we both bottled our qualifying.
Yeah, his was compromised even more than in the end. But he didn't. Well, I mean, he didn't get such a good race in the end because I mean, Copy compromised himself in a different way by just not being able to put the laps together. You retired, so you couldn't. But that's that, and looking forward to see you drive next week, hopefully. Well, quarantine is not gonna change anything, is it?
Yeah, no, not really. There's not much to do, so I might as well suffer in Russia, right?
Yeah, good luck.
So I will be there. Thanks, guys.
See you next week.
See ya.
So I've moved them in, so this time I don't catch anyone mid-conversation. I hope. Yes, I managed to not cut one off. Hello, Julian.
Hello.
You are here once again, but this time in a little bit less used spot on the podium. I mean, P3 was still a good drive, but I imagine you wanted to be higher up. How did the race go for you?
Well, certainly, yeah. It wasn't one of my better races, for sure, because that's obviously visible on the stream as well, but I mean, I keep saying that I don't practice enough, but I don't practice, so I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but I'm not doing anything about it, so it's kind of backfiring me, but you know, my main focus is on Copy, and right now what I do is enough, so that's fine with me. But the race itself, quali, I originally wanted to go it on the hards, but then Jeff shouted in my ear, rain is coming, so I quickly changed back to the mediums.
Yeah, you were one of only 3, so... Wait, it was actually Jeff that made you change your mind?
Yeah, it was.
So are you telling me Jeff was actually useful?
Yeah, for once.
I don't believe you.
I know, right? I don't believe myself either, but it's true. But I was surprised that Wow did a lap when the track was wet. He improved my time, so I was kind of surprised to see that. But the start was pretty epic.
Yeah, it was a really good dive. We saw that. Like, what was going through your mind there?
I had a really poor start into turn 1, but I managed to keep it kind of clean, and Astro Boys was lagging, so that kind of messed everyone else behind me up. They were distracted, so I could stay ahead. then into turn 4, I was like, well, I'm just gonna go for it. So I just braked really late and hoped for the best.
Worked
And
out
it
really well.
Yeah, it sticked really well. So from then on, I tried to stay in the rhythm and follow Hugo's, but then I made a mistake. I took too much of the entry to turn 6 or 7, something like that, before the Singapore sling. So
okay.
I half spun. I made contact with Wow, but thankfully he didn't damage anything on his car. And I apologized, and he said okay. So I was like, yeah, I'm a bit scared, but he said it was fine. So I'm not too worried about that anymore. From then, I had a fight with Bryce, and I was really annoyed with that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Singapore. The tires are gonna overheat so damn much when you are fighting, and it was literally pissing me off so much because we were battling and we went side by side for like 5 corners, and there's no point in battling so hard on, I don't know, I don't even know what lap it was, lap 10, something like that.
I think a bit.
It was just,
but yeah.
yeah, it was just pointless, and yeah.
Well, I was happy that he did it because it was very exciting to watch from the outside.
Yeah, it was exciting.
It was the fight where you also didn't that back you off into Danny and the guys.
Yeah, it did, and Danny then got in front of me and someone else. I don't know exactly remember who it was, but Danny and the other guy made contact. And
Pretorius, I think. Yeah.
yeah, I think it was him. Yeah, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go through. See you. So from then I just tried to go with the flow and drove to the end.
Yeah, it was a decent result in the end, of course. If you measure it by if you measure it by what copy has gotten as a result. A little bit of a weird question for the end. Looking at the championship, do you think that WoW still has outsider chances at it, or is it something you don't worry about?
Well, you know, in my head, I don't worry about him because it makes it easier for my mind, so I don't have the pressure of him anymore. But you can't exactly count him out yet, even though in my mind I do. But in reality, you can't, you know, because everyone is going to be a threat to you. So if he finishes ahead of me by 1 place, I don't really mind. It's fine. But if I finish like 10th and he finished first, and he's gaining 25 points on me and probably copy as well, then I'm a little bit worried about that because he gets closer. But in general,
yeah,
I guess I'm not too worried, but somewhere I am. It's kind of difficult to explain, but you probably get what I mean.
Yeah, I do. I think I do. I just wanted to know because I saw that he's now actually the driver who won the most races this season with 6. So.
Well, wins don't say the entire picture in the championship. So.
Exactly, they don't. The standings do. Well.
Exactly.
Well, at least more of the full picture. So, thanks for the interview and see you on track next week. Well, I won't be there.
Wait.
Huh?
You're not gonna ask me about the next race?
No, I wasn't because I came up with a good, different. Do you want to say? Do you want to say some swear words on stream about Russia or?
Nah. Russia is not worth my attention too much. I'm just gonna try. Russia is so bad, man. I'm literally just gonna rock up and hope for the best, just like today.
That's
Japan is gonna be focused again. So
well, okay, yeah. That's gonna be interesting then. If to see how you get on in Russia. So yeah,
I'll probably be disqualified on lap 4.
What? There's a track here somewhere? I don't see it. I just see one.
Raikkonen 2012.
Yeah. Just ends up somewhere else in a different track.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for the interview and
no
have
problem.
a good evening.
You too, man. See you.
See you. So we're gonna bring up one last driver, and that is going to be a voice rally hurter. It is you're on stream. I don't know if that was intentional by you.
Oh.
Again.
Huh?
No, I was still talking in gentleman's lounge.
Do you have a problem with being here?
No, it's okay.
So I think the most appropriate thing to ask after that race is how many 48.8s did you do behind Pretorius? And how did it feel?
Honestly, this was the worst experience I have ever had. So, like, quali, I got screwed over by Jeff. He said rain in 15 minutes. I checked on the mini map. Yeah, it's rain isn't even forecasted.
I,
So it was like,
I
oh.
appreciate how Julian had exactly the opposite experience and Jeff saved his life.
Oh, like it's so funny. Like I don't know if you catched it on stream, but lap 30, I lost like the grip instantly. Like
Oh yeah,
these
yeah.
guys, the other guys were like still having a dry track. Meanwhile, I was having a full wet track. So
That was
I was
super
like,
weird. Yeah, we saw it. I
what?
thought his tires can't possibly be dead.
No, like I checked my tires, they were 40% on the right rear. That was the highest.
What the? Okay, that's super weird. I think I've heard of like a similar bug in the past once, but Jesus.
Yeah, like quali, yeah, nothing to say there. Game screwed me over, like, and same in the race. Like, I don't even know how many times do I have to disconnect before before it gets fixed. So
Yeah. Like in the race, you were behind your teammate for quite some time, and we saw that you didn't open DRS. I had my own little theory what it was all about, but
yeah,
what was it all about?
yeah, I wasn't really intending to overtake him since he's way ahead of me in the standings, so wasn't willing to risk a double DNF.
So you just decided to stay behind him, and then of course
Yeah,
the
exactly.
end.
Yeah, the end was like, yeah.
Yeah,
It
that was a little weird to watch because I was riding on board with you, and then I was jumping between you and Pretorius, and I could just see that one of the two actually could drive on the track, and one was just sliding all over the place.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I knew Astro setups are weird, but this.
Yeah. Like,
What wings did you end up running, by the way? I just want to know. It's for research.
I will send it to you in PM, yeah.
Oh, I just hoped you would say 111. That's-
Yeah, I was close.
Are you kidding me?
No.
What's the difference between front and rear?
Wait, let me check. 'Cause I wrote
need
it
to
down
know.
somewhere. Yeah. Wait.
No worries. It's fine.
Oh, I used 711. Yeah.
711. Well,
Yeah.
that's
I
meanwhile.
thought I was losing.
Yeah.
I thought I was using way less, but 711. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's actually sounds reasonable. Well, I was running around with 1010, so.
Yeah, like I had another setup with 10 wings, so that was I don't know, that was more stable. This was faster, so
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Next week is Russia. Do you want to drive Russia? Do you want to dig a hole in the ground and come out after Russia? What's your take?
we will see that. Yeah. that's still that's still a long time to go. So I will see if my pace is anywhere near the front. So if no, then maybe my PC will die. So just for fun.
Nice. It seems to have made a habit of that, and I imagine the track limit bug is not annoying at all.
No, honestly I found out about the bug like lap 12, 13, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna abuse it since, like, actually if I would have wanted to abuse it, I would have lost more time since my rear suspension was like 7, so.
I don't know how setups work. I don't know what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah, like my rear suspension was really stiff, so if I wanted to go over the curbs, I
Oh.
was like, yeah.
Anyway, well, let's hope your PC doesn't lose its will to live next week. And thanks for the totally intended interview. So
Yeah, no problem.
thanks for doing it. Have a nice evening, and
Yeah, you too.
goodbye.
Yeah, bye bye.
So that was that broadcast. A little bit more interviews than usually. 4 drivers, one of which didn't want to be interviewed. Amazing. So, thanks everyone for watching, and be back in, or check in back next week. I can't speak English anymore. It's been too long. Singapore's always long. Next week for SLR, for all the SLR races, and also tomorrow there's going to be 2 SRL action at Singapore, and I'm gonna cry, and you want to see it, I'm sure. So, make sure to check that stuff out. Thanks for watching. Good evening. See you.